No, I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to smack it raw.
Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the host are not necessarily those of the host. Listener discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast that turns back time to when sports entertainment was still called professional wrestling. This is Return to Wrestling, and I am your host, the Warden Mad Ritter, and I am here, as always, with my co-host, Sir Cussalott, Travis Pointer, a.k.a. the Dragon King, a.k.a. Big T, a.k.a. Black Merlin, a.k.a. T-Money, a.k.a. Wow, I'm fucking this up. God, it's been so long. Where have you been? Let's try this again. Sir Cussalott, Travis Pointer, aka no, I just don't have it. I guess we're just gonna have to scrap this, Travis. Like, just no more nicknames because you're not around enough. Sir Cussalott, Travis Pointer, aka the Dragon King, aka Big T, aka Sweet T, aka Black Merlin, aka the HNIC.
Who be bad now, boys?
I really thought if I fucked that up enough, you might just let me get away with it. We didn't come alone, though, because we're talking about Bash at the Beach in 1996. And if you've seen this show, you know that all they talk about for 3 weeks, if not longer, throughout the entire show is who the third man is. So we brought our very own third man. Figured if we're going to do a show where we cover past shows, maybe we should get a host who is an expert at covering past shows. So from the apron bump, he is the hardest part of the ring. Kyle, what's going on, man?
Hey, man, thanks for having me. I had a lot of third man jokes that I wanted to come in with, but kind of stomped on it a little bit. So I feel like I couldn't come in flaccid. So yeah, I'm number 3 here, fellas.
What was your best third man joke?
I was gonna be like, hey, who's like I'm, like Hulk Hogan from the show we're covering. It's like what I am, but for the podcast.
Okay, so the really bad jokes, like at the beginning of your shows when you do the intros.
I'm sorry. You must be listening to the wrong. There's another podcast called Apron Bumps. That's probably the one you're thinking of.
Yeah. I was thinking of the one that you repeatedly called me Riddler on. Yeah.
I'm still not convinced it's not your name.
Okay.
Riddler.
Well, I appreciate you coming out.
Mara's done that once too. So.
Fuck Mara.
See,
we've been there plenty of times.
There's something about you that has a Riddler, like Batman Riddler about you. You have a lot of similarities.
I look like Jim Carrey. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I mean, I'm not saying that.
It's because I'm white.
Yeah, all white people do.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, getting out of your comfort zone and coming to do a retro recap because I know you're not real big on those. So
yeah, really taking me from 95 WCW to 96 WCW. So it's definitely
those are two very different WCWs.
Yeah, it's kind of joking about it, but there are a lot of they make so much. I don't know, it's not even progress, but there's a lot of different characters that I didn't think were there in 96. I thought they were there later. Lots of ECW guys too that have jumped over since.
Yeah. This is when I say a very different WCW, this is a very big transition time for them. So it's just
But we're not quite there yet because a lot of the bad, and whenever I talk about a lot of the bad on this podcast, it's either one of two people, Kevin Sullivan or Hulk Hogan.
It's all Kevin Sullivan for you, man. You
or
hate
Hulk
the Taskmaster stuff. Well, he's not going anywhere. So it's just like you're stuck with that guy.
A lot of the bad's still there, and by that I mean Kevin Sullivan and any reference of the Dungeon of Doom. At
least we got Glacier coming soon.
Yes.
Yeah. He's gonna turn this whole thing around.
Yes. I wish I remembered what he said in his 12 promos and 3 shows, but
I just remember his move was called the cryonic kick.
The fact that they didn't call it the fatality really disappoints me.
All those vignettes were like mid-90s video game, like Tekken, like when you select your character, it was like the quick cuts to his hands, like the poof, the sound effects. It's like, Christ, this guy.
See, now he would have been perfect for the Dungeon of Doom, but we're not here to talk about Glacier. We're here to talk about Monday Nitro. Didn't fuck it up because I've been saying Monday Night Nitro for like, I don't even know what episode we're on now, but basically every episode.
Is it not Monday Night Nitro?
No, it's not. Travis is a big stickler for
just Monday Nitro. It's the whole thing.
That just blew my mind. Yeah. I was gonna be saying that the whole show, but now learning me today.
So Monday Nitro, June 17th, we kick it off. Tony and Larry are running down the Great American Bash for what seems like forever. Like it was just last night. You're covering literally everything. It took like at least a good 10-15 minutes at the beginning of the show. But we end with them being very, very upset about what happened to Eric Bischoff, and Larry Zbyszko lets us know that he's got some words for the outsiders. He isn't impressed, and I don't really think Scott Hall or Kevin Nash gives a shit. First match, Stevie Ray loses to Rick Steiner. Harlem Heat jump Rick post-match. Scott Steiner comes out, makes the save by laying on Rick Steiner to take the move. He doesn't attack Booker T and knock him off the top rope.
Nope.
He jumps on the grenade that is Rick Steiner.
Yeah. He didn't move him out of the way. He didn't stop the move from happening. He just laid on top of him. Because no, it's not.
Oh, well.
I would never do that for my brother. That's stupid. It's just like,
I guess I've never been in that scenario, so who knows?
If I were in that scenario, that is not what I would do. I'm not going to just take a move. No.
Do you have a brother, Kyle?
I do.
You do.
A younger brother.
So is laying on your brother something that you?
That wouldn't be my first. That would not be my first instinct.
Okay.
You know,
well, your brother's the younger brother in this situation. That's what it would be. Would your brother do that for you?
No, he'd probably walk the opposite direction. Actually,
exactly.
So, yeah, he'll turn me in a second.
Like, what your dumb ass doing out there? Like, it's just we can fight them later, but
we're also peak Disco Inferno, I believe, at this point. Like, obviously, we're gonna get Disco and Alex right, and that might be peak Disco Inferno.
Oh no, that's not peak Disco Inferno. You have not reached peak disco yet, brother.
I was about to say, I hope to God this is not peak Disco Inferno.
Oh, it is not peak disco.
It seems like he's still putting his parts together a little bit.
He has not won the TV title yet. Like this is not peak disco.
He loses to Joe Gomez. Who the fuck is Joe Gomez?
I swear to God, I had that exact same note. Who the fuck is Joe Gomez?
And why is he so important?
He was a dude that was supposed to tag with the Renegade against the Horseman, but got jumped, so he didn't have a match. And yeah,
you mean Great Value Ultimate Warrior?
Why is Renegade still around?
Because he had a contract and they needed bodies. So they're like, hey, you can get your ass whooped going out there.
Rebrand him, make him Glacier. Who gives a fuck? Put him in the Dungeon of Doom.
Joe Gomez was so prominent in these 3 weeks and on this pay-per-view, and I have never heard of this man in my life.
He'll disappear and you'll never hear from him again.
We got Ric Flair back, this time with 3 other men's wives. Instead of the 2 that he had originally, he added another to the stable of wives that he's fucking. He addresses Kevin Green from last night and Mongo, and how Mongo took the money and basically says Macho Man's going to go down tonight. Ric Flair says a lot of shit to get to a very simple point in every promo.
That's the nature boy.
And some of it makes about as much sense as an Ultimate Warrior promo at times.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this era of Ric Flair, personally. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just...
I don't dislike it. It's not my favorite Flair, but I still enjoy it.
Is it because you're worried that maybe if this era Ric Flair met the softest part of the ring, she'd be the joining this? Yeah.
Who was the 4th wife? That's what would have been the tagline.
My wife, even today, knowing who he is, like absolutely hates Ric Flair with a passion. I have not been able to figure out why, but she every time he's on TV, she gets upset. She hates him. So I don't have to worry about Ric Flair fucking my wife.
That's
Not
fair.
at all.
That's fair. I mean, my fiance, the only Ric Flair she knows is the one that's been on Raw within the past few months. So I think I'm safe. I think I'm safe with that one.
I can see that. No guarantees though. I mean, he is a smooth talker. So
Yeah, I'm not gonna let him near her.
yeah, I was gonna say don't leave her alone with him just in case.
Look, I'm not a gambling man. I'm not gonna take that chance. Probably smells delicious.
The odds are always on the house.
Yes.
We got the Chippendale dancers that they call the American males with the worst theme song.
American males.
Basically, they're losing to the Four Horsemen. Then we get an Arn and Benoit promo. Benoit isn't done with Kevin Sullivan, and
Nope. Got your wife.
Weird.
I'm gonna keep whooping your ass.
It gets even more bizarre on the pay-per-view. Like, oh, Jesus. In hindsight, is
the whole thing is fucking just. We talk about this because this whole thing with Kevin Sullivan and then Woman and Benoit being in the force, like it's been going on for a couple shows now, and every time we talk about it, it doesn't get easier to watch. It doesn't get any better because we're looking back, knowing the full history,
knowing the end, how the story ends, and it's
yeah, how Kevin Sullivan murders Chris Benoit's family.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Allegedly, with a satanic cult, allegedly.
Right.
So we got the Guardian Angel, Big Bubba Bossman, Ray Trailer losing to the Earthquake Shark, Golga John Tenta. Tenta chases Jimmy after the match, gets caught by Bubba with a sock loaded with quarters,
silver dollars.
I don't feel like Big Bubba can afford silver dollars.
That's what they said it was.
I don't trust him. That man does not look like he has silver dollars.
They said it was silver dollars. Who am I to argue? I wasn't there.
Muscle shirt. Look at
this is going to lead to a sock full of silver dollars on a pole match at the pay-per-view.
This is where Russo got his inspiration from. He was like, "Oh, remember what they did back in '96? I'm gonna do that every week."
Because it was so good. You just gotta keep rolling with it.
Poor John Tenta. Like, you get away from the Dungeon of Doom. Arguably, in my opinion, the worst thing WCW has ever produced. They shave your head and make you look like an idiot. This man is a legend. I mean, WWE isn't going to do much better by putting him in a mask with a Cartman doll and stick him in the oddities later, but it is what it is. Like,
that was at least entertaining.
Right. Yeah.
To an extent.
And then you got to come out every week with this fucked up haircut and get beat up by Big Boss Man until your pay-per-view match and listen to Jimmy Hart run his fucking mouth.
So so I'm a little bit unfamiliar on the Dungeon of Doom. Was his name Shark?
Yep. Yes, he was the Shark. He was also Avalanche,
right?
Earthquake,
yes,
and Golga.
Because in my podcast, in the timeline I'm at, he's still Avalanche. So I was wondering where he transitioned to John Tenta, but I guess he got kicked out of the dungeon. And
he was the Shark when he was in the Dungeon of Doom. When he got kicked out, he became John Tenta.
Right. Okay, that's what I assumed. Just want to make sure I have.
Which is his actual name. So basically, what happens is, Kevin Sullivan goes and finds all of these wrestlers who are already kind of obscure, and he brings them to this cave where an old crusty dude sitting on a throne jacks off into his hand and then anoints them with a new character and name. So the Booty Man becomes the Zodiac, or maybe he was the Zodiac and became the Booty Man. I don't remember which way that went.
He was the Zodiac and then became the Booty Man.
But he was something else.
Booty.
Avalanche becomes the Shark because sharks are more terrifying than avalanches, apparently.
I love that they couldn't call him like Great White or
wait till you get caught up to where we're at and you get to see the Loch Ness Monster.
That's what I call my penis. Anyways, What's next, folks?
We got a Macho Man interview.
I don't know if that's as good as the Yeti.
Well, everyone knows about the Yeti, but I don't feel like a lot of people know about Loch Ness.
Yeah.
Macho Man interview. He's happy to get his hands on Flair. Then he chases, like he's chasing Bobby Heenan around the ring for fun.
Yeah.
Before the match.
Bobby Heenan had some hops on him. Didn't he just like hop over the top rope to get
He
away?
did a lot. He was not with the Macho Man shits that day. He's like, no.
But the next match is probably the most important match of the night, because even though Macho Man loses to Flair, we find out that Tony Schiavone originally coined the phrase "a little bit of the bubbly," and Jericho just stole that shit years later, got it over, and made a shit ton of money and created a fucking champagne off Tony Schiavone's shit.
How dare him?
Shame.
Jericho.
And we just let him get away with it.
Truly is a Judas, huh? Am I right or am I wrong, fellas?
Absolutely. And we got a bunch of bullshit here. Flair's got Nux. Arn and Benoit are trying to get in there. It ends up being Mongo with the briefcase that seals the deal. Even though
like
Mongo threw the briefcase, like, I think that was this match. It looked like he threw the briefcase ahead of Macho Man, and he just kind of like jumped off the top rope, and I don't know if he's supposed to fall on it or was that another match where Mongo did that?
I don't remember. I watched a lot of wrestling the last few days.
I think he tried to hit him in the legs, but the briefcase just slipped out of his hands and it just went flying. And
he completely missed him, and then Macho Man just decided to take the dive and then lay there for the pin.
Yeah.
Because, like, what do you do?
Because Mongo blew it, but
It's so crazy to see Macho Man versus Ric Flair and kind of like a throwaway who gives a fuck match on TV.
Yeah.
Like, I guess it's the time we're in, though.
Well, they had just had an actual match at the pay-per-view, so you'd already paid for it, so
Right. Channeling
we
modern
got
day Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get Jimmy Hart squealing. So apparently, I've been trying to figure this out since the last pay-per-view, because like there was this weird alliance between the Four Horsemen and the Dungeon of Doom, and then it went away, and I didn't really understand what was going on. But apparently, for whatever reason, this human heap of garbage, Kevin Sullivan, thought that he was going to be a Four Horseman. Somehow, in his brain, he's like, I have manufactured the most shitty ideas in WCW history. They're going to let me into one of the most prestigious groups in wrestling history because of it. Also, I'm a terrible wrestler and I've got shitty face paint. Of course, I'm Horseman material. Not that Mongo's any better, because he's fucking not, but at least he had a Super Bowl ring. But that's his beef. His beef is he thought he was going to be a Horseman and he didn't get to be. Mongo did. And I can understand being replaced by Mongo and being upset, especially when they took your wife and didn't take you. The Giant says anyone in the Dungeon of Doom is better than anyone in the Four Horsemen, and then goes on to quote Humpty Dumpty in his promo.
And also, by the way, that would be none of you are really better than anyone in the Horsemen right now, because you're all trash. So like none of you can actually work except for Kevin Sullivan, but he's trash. So
there's literally no one left in the Dungeon of Doom but Sullivan, fucking Big Bubba, and the Giant. I think that is the Dungeon of Doom at this point.
That's still like showing up, yeah, because well, technically they still got the Yeti.
Travis, did the Yeti ever wrestle a match?
I mean, the tower thingy.
Did he wrestle in the tower?
I don't know. Didn't he just dry hump some people?
Not some people. Hulk Hogan.
I mean, that's
he
what
and
he
the
called
Giant.
Wrestling.
He and the Giant sandwiched and dry fucked the shit out of Hulk Hogan to orgasm on TV. But bell to bell,
we saw the Yeti orgasm on live television, and it was glorious.
Hey, at least you had tissue to clean it up.
Exactly.
It's just all absorbed right there. No issue.
That's it.
We also got I wrote down that Hogan must have wrote that Humpty Dumpty promo, because that sounds like some dumb shit he would have said back then.
I'm finding out now that I think I completely zoned out of this promo.
I don't blame you.
I saw these people.
I don't remember him saying that either. Like, it's just like I 100% believe that he said it, but I don't remember it. It's just like, was I not listening? Is that what happened?
I think he said something along the lines of you're gonna fall, and all the king's horses and all the king's men can't put you back together again. I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
I think this is the promo where I screenshotted it and was like, I can't believe Big Show is the same species as these. I think that's why I don't remember it. I was trying to Peacock. You can't screenshot on your phones. It's like, sucker.
Peacock is the worst, man. Like
it really is.
I feel like I say this every time I get on a podcast now, but I hate Peacock so much.
Yeah.
We got Rey Mysterio losing to Dean Malenko. Cruiserweight title match. Fantastic. Or no, it was just a cruiserweight match, but it was a fantastic match. I've gained a new appreciation for the worker that is Dean Malenko, despite as a younger man absolutely hating his existence for non-important reasons.
Yeah, about to say those reasons have nothing to do with his wrestling acumen either. So it's just, oh man. But Dean Malenko, I like Dean Malenko better in matches that are not cruiserweight matches.
I can see that.
Him in cruiserweight matches, watching him, his moves seem very, how do I put this nicely? Very modern day AEW, where it's just like everybody's just standing around, like, we're gonna wait for you to do this so I can do this move, and I'm gonna stand here and kind of set myself up so you can flip over me now. And there's a whole lot of that happening with Dean Malenko in these cruiserweight matches, and it's just like, ugh.
He also is a producer for AEW, so maybe
that might explain a lot. But yeah, his other matches that he's had with other people who are like bigger than him, who are like more of a slow kind of match that aren't the flying around kind of shit, are a lot better than his ones to me against other cruiserweights.
Yeah.
So Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say I had a similar thought about Dean Malenko. It just seems like he does moves. I'm gonna do this move and then this move and then this move and then the finish. Like there's not like a lot of cohesion.
So this next match highlights an issue that I've had the entire time Travis has been making me watch this fucking bullshit. So the Giant defeats Scott Steiner. Are all WCW World Heavyweight title matches no DQ?
Might as well be.
Have we got rid of the over-the-top rope disqualification? Like,
that's going to come back, because I specifically remember that come into effect with other matches between certain people who have not had matches yet. So it's just, I know that rule's not gone.
I feel like they only institute it when they feel like it's going to be important to do it, but like they're not instituting. But also, like, there was a bunch of bullshit in this match. The Giant no-sold the wooden chair. I don't understand why they're breaking. Like, I guess it looks cool to hit somebody with a wooden chair, but like, in a year or two, what they're going to do on the other channel with The Rock and Mankind, like, this wooden chair bullshit's just not gonna stack up.
Well, yeah, in a year or two, yes. But it's still 1996 at this point, Matt. They haven't seen the future.
Yeah, they're all like made of the material that they make guitars out of.
Yeah.
Honky Tonk Man. They just explode on impact.
And also, the Giant has not had a decent title defense this entire run.
I mean, when you're 7 feet tall and you're that huge, do you really have to? Like,
yeah,
you're there as a spectacle. Like, look at me, I'm fucking huge. They can't hurt me. That's what you're there for.
Big Show was still moving around like pretty quickly, like almost like too like normal. Like he was moving around like a normal guy, and I think he would be criticized.
Not moving
by
like
that,
a giant.
Yeah, exactly. There's like that famous. Like it was Stone Cold that like was fucking with him in a match to make Big Show get angry, and I kind of like channeled
and
something.
Do big angry giant shit, because that's what you should be doing when you're that fucking huge.
Yep.
It's just like there was one match he did, like he did a kip up, and they're just like, "Oh, that's amazing." I'm like, no, it's not really amazing. It's more just like it makes it seem like he's not as big as he really is, and you need to really emphasize how fucking huge he is.
Yeah.
Well, he has come out and said like he didn't really learn how to work till he got to the WWF, and they made him learn how to work. And guys like Undertaker and Austin and stuff, because in WCW they didn't give a fuck about whether or not he could work. He was just a gimmick that they were using to help get themselves over. And by they I mean Hulk Hogan, because he's like, I don't have Andre anymore, but I got you, motherfucker.
Yeah, Dungeon of Doom wasn't cutting it, so they needed I need to put this big motherfucker in the Dungeon of Doom. Then the Dungeon of Doom will mean something.
Did it?
And you make
no.
No.
I mean, I'm not saying he was right. I'm saying that was his thought process.
The Dungeon of Doom and Kevin Sullivan are probably the two things I hate the most in wrestling history at this point. Like, absolutely just despise their existence. And they have been around since Travis made me start watching this. And we are going on a year of this fucking shit. And Travis keeps telling me, don't worry, the NWO's coming. They're going to go away. And then every month, they're still fucking here. Kevin Sullivan is still on my TV, and they still exist. And
the NWO literally just showed up. So, like,
I mean, those are two separate conversations. One is, don't worry, Matt, it's going to get better. The NWO's coming. And the other is, don't worry, Matt, the Dungeon of Doom's going to go away.
They're going to phase out.
Going away.
Yeah, it takes time,
like
sir.
99, 2000.
But you just said yourself there's only like 2 people left. So it's just like, who can't last
as long as
longer.
Kevin Sullivan exists, his stupid ass faction is going to be around.
I was like, because the Giant's going to join the NWO. And Big Bubba's going to become the big boss man. He's going to WWE. So
he's got dogs to eat, and he's got to get hung by the Undertaker.
Yeah. So they're all like, he's not going to have anybody left. There won't be a Dungeon of Doom.
Is Dave Sullivan still around at this point?
Who the fuck is Dave Sullivan?
His son.
Oh, you don't know? Oh man, I got some shows for you to watch, man. Dave Sullivan is the brother of Kevin Sullivan.
Who's his brother?
They had like a 3 pay-per-view feud based on the fact that Dave Sullivan really liked Hulk Hogan and Kevin Sullivan did not.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. He was dressing like Hogan and shit. Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about. I forgot what his name was.
I was going to say, we caught the very end of that feud, I think, at the beginning of the show, because we only started at the first Nitro and everything from.
Yeah.
So if it went on after the first Nitro debuted and it was at a pay-per-view, we caught it. But like, we didn't have the context because we're not watching Saturday Night Fever or whatever the fuck that stupid other show's called.
Yeah, I think that's right.
He said Saturday Night Fever.
Like, we're not watching that shit. So
it's literally just called WCW Saturday Night. Like, he didn't
WCW Saturday Night Fever. It's where disco goes. It's kind of like AEW Dark. Nobody gives a shit.
It just
basically.
So then we close our show with Luger, Macho Man, and Sting being the 3 of the 6 possible candidates from WCW picked to represent WCW against the Outsiders and their third man. Rolling into June 24th. Kick it off. WCW's 3 men get interviewed about the Outsiders. Macho Man doesn't give a fuck about anything but Ric Flair and Mongo. Completely ignores the fact that he's there to talk about the Outsiders in his match. He's just like,
we did mention they're all in face paint, but then he was moving on. He didn't care anymore after that.
It's fucking Mongo and Flair, and Flair's fucking Elizabeth, and I'm not happy about it.
Yeah. He's got his priorities. Okay, we don't have to deal with them for a couple more weeks. I got these motherfuckers tonight, so let's go.
Sting calls the Outsiders cowards. Luger says stuff that I never pay attention to.
I have a few things to say about this promo.
Oh, all right. Go ahead.
First of all, Macho Man this whole time.
Yeah.
First of all, like, look at the camera.
Oh, man. See, here's the thing. I love Macho Man promos so much. I love it so much. Because nothing he says makes any fucking sense, but it's so much fun to watch. Like, it's a different thing than Warrior promos, because Warrior promos made no sense, but weren't really entertaining really to watch. It was just, what the fuck did I just watch? Macho Man is what the fuck did I just watch? But Jesus, you entertain the fuck out of me every time.
And Lex Luger, when he was talking, I don't know what he was talking about, but I know at one point he almost said WWF. He was like,
WWCW.
Like, God damn it, Lex Luger, you can't do anything right.
I never pay attention to anything Lex Luger says. That is the moment Lex Luger grabs the microphone, I automatically tune out, and it breaks my heart because I think I told you this when we did the Super Show. Lex Luger comes on TV, and my daughter actually pays attention, but she also really likes the JG Wentworth opera commercial. Like, when that comes on,
877 cash now.
Yeah. Whenever that commercial comes on, she literally, my wife has a video. She will stop whatever she's doing, talking, playing, whatever, and she just focuses in on that. So,
I'll tell you about how that commercial is almost the reason I didn't get my job.
No.
So rewind back to what I'm studying for my insurance license exam, right?
Okay.
there is a section about annuities. Okay. I could not read that word without hearing that song in my head. Like I halfway know what annuities are. I learned nothing in that section because I was just like, I can't learn any of this because anytime I see the word annuity, I'm just like 877 cash now all the time. I have an annuity, but every time I see it, and so I was not able to learn anything there. I just had to skip that section.
The word annuity does to you what a Lex Luger promo does to me, and just completely shuts your brain off, and then nothing is retained.
Yeah.
We also got the Steiners and Harlem Heat just joining the party, and then everyone just starts yelling at each other about tag team titles and shit. And it's like, weren't we supposed to be talking about the Outsiders? Isn't that why? By the way, Mean Gene Okerlund has been the highlight of this entire series of shit. He is fucking fantastic because he does not give a shit about what is going on. Like later on when we get to him flirting with woman and woman flirting with him and like completely just canceling the whole interview that he was doing and shit like that. Fucking fantastic. But
there'll never be another Mean Gene. It's just
I got to get to Kyle's favorite part of the show. Public Enemy defeats the Blue Bloods.
Or whatever the song is.
Yeah, I hate that they're not using their actual music though. It's just like, oh, who owns the real music? Like, why can't they use the real music?
Well, didn't WCW license a lot of actual music? And then
yeah, because they come in like their music though is like that. Nah.
Yeah,
I think that was an actual song.
The Hop Stepper something. I forget the name of the song.
But just like we know once the NWO stuff really starts off, we won't be able to hear Hulk Hogan come out to Voodoo Child, which is so sad. And it's just like,
is that who sings American Made?
No, Voodoo Child, the Jimi Hendrix song. His that he came out with as he's when he was the leader of the NWO.
I'm losing you guys.
Wasn't a big fan of that one.
Really?
No. That was when he was like facing Triple H in 2002. Like that song.
No.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that was his music all throughout his NWO time.
Was it? Okay. Well, I'm unfamiliar. I probably only
So
seen
I'm
the
freezing up.
Peacock version.
I don't know if you guys can hear me.
I can hear you. You're frozen on my screen.
Yep, he's frozen.
Oh boy.
Man.
We can just hum Hulk Hogan theme songs for another hour and call it a day.
Yeah, because I don't know what order everything happened in. I know what happened, but I don't know when and how it happened.
God damn it, Matthew.
Yep, now he's gone.
Well,
Want to just make fun of Matt? We can do that.
Yeah, fuck that guy. How about his stupid beard, huh? Bald
Seriously,
asshole.
man. Like, what the fuck? Do better.
Kick your asshole. Yeah.
Yeah, man. This is fucked up internet. We lost him now because he's supposed to be hosting the show and now he's gone. What the fuck?
Yeah, man.
Got me out here all late and shit, and he can't even stay online.
Can't even. That's all we ask him to do. Just to
I really don't ask for much. I really don't.
Hit the record button.
Man.
Tell us what happened.
Yeah, I mean, luckily I'm recording, so we don't have that problem. But
well, thank goodness. Should I record? Should I be the third recorder?
The third recorder? Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, we could talk about some more people's music not being on there, like DDP.
I wasn't sure. Was that because I wasn't watching live at the time? I know he used that Nirvana ripoff at some point. Was he already using it in '96?
I don't know when it started, but his whole music was the self high five thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Because this is a song he had in like the video games. Yeah. So I didn't know if that was like his actual theme song for a while, and then he switched to Nirvana.
I don't know, but I know he had that other song, and even throughout his whole time, I've watched later WCW stuff, and he still was using this music there. So they didn't have the rights to the self high five music.
I do low key. I have a link to pay-per-views that I think use the original music. If you ever want to immerse yourself in it.
I mean, it doesn't bother me that much.
The only time it bothers me is when it's like Chris Jericho coming out to break the walls down. It's like,
yeah, that's weird. That's weird. You're right.
Come on.
Yeah, him. Like that's not his. He had that, very generic TNT music that he was using before. Like,
right, yeah. Well, we had Even Flow, right?
I don't remember what it was called, but it was the music he used. He was like, I remember hearing it on some other commercial for TNT. Like at some point, it was like, why is Chris Jericho's music playing on this NBA video?
You guys hear me?
Ooh, yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Was I loud?
Yeah, it was kind of loud at first. Yeah.
I'm moving you guys away from me a little bit because now everything's all fucked up. I'm on my phone because that shit died. So
Okay, that's cool. I'm okay with being as far away from you as possible.
Got a little
Gee,
POV action.
You're welcome.
So got to figure out how we're gonna do this to keep my notes on my phone. So that'll be fun.
Oh boy.
He's gonna keep disappearing. I like it. That's fine.
That's how I prefer you.
Yeah. Now you don't have to look at me until I can get my computer.
Did your internet just go out or something?
No, I don't know what the fuck happened. The internet's fine. It just kicked me out of the fucking meeting out of nowhere.
Yeah, his computer just said "fuck you,"
Can you not?
Which is why I'm going to get a new computer.
Yeah, I get it. So you say "fuck you" back and you replace it. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason I don't even open up my laptop anymore because it stopped cooperating. I'm like, oh, I'll show you, and built this PC. So.
I mean, besides, Kyle should be used to doing shows where you can't see his co-host.
Yeah, I used to. Now I got to see the wrinkles in your eyes.
Oh yeah, it was so pretty that you just had to do video.
Yeah, that was the key. If I could get in there and tangle our beards, I would.
He's almost the reason I stopped doing video. So,
You can't be flicking you off right now, goddammit. So we got Sullivan beating some guy back into concessions. I don't know who the fuck this guy was. He ends up getting disqualified for, I don't even think the match started, but for beating this guy up, I guess.
I have a question. Why is Kevin Sullivan all of a sudden into piss play? Is that like his gimmick? He's a water sports guy.
That's part of the dungeon, man. That's how you get in. Like, that's part of the initiation process. You got to get peed on.
I think a little golden shower.
They cut that out. They cut that part out because that wasn't safe for television back then. It's not safe for television now either. But
So say was it just Peacock? Is it
Peacock?
I
get it. I get it.
Everybody.
So basically, we go back to the ring after this disqualification, which was all bullshit, and we find out that there's going to be a match, a tag team match, 4 Horsemen versus the Giant and Sullivan. And if the Giant and Sullivan lose, Giant has to put his belt on the line against Ric Flair, I guess.
Against any member of the 4 Horsemen.
Whoever.
Which we know it would have been Ric Flair. Because there's no way any of them would have gone in there other than Flair. So, yeah.
It's probably Mongo. Why not?
I was about to say, I'd like to see Mongo versus Big Show. Barn burner.
Mongo versus the Giant. Yeah. Because we're not quite at the part where Mongo just repeatedly gets his ass whooped by Goldberg.
So man, I can't wait for that.
It was one of those things that felt like every week he was facing Goldberg, and every week Goldberg would come out there, whoop his ass, spear him, jackhammer, and it's over.
Like 80% of his streak is just beating Mongo.
Yeah, like sir, why are you, just because you spend a long time making a mistake doesn't mean you should keep doing it. Like, it's just.
We also got Malenko defeating Bobby Walker for the Cruiserweight title. During the match, Disco celebrates 1 million records sold by getting in the ring and dancing, which pissed off Malenko.
Yeah.
Then we get an in-ring promo. Basically, Disco says that Malenko's boring. He isn't wrong.
I'm about to say, I mean, he is. He has zero personality. That's why they call him the Iceman. But
is Disco Inferno supposed to be the babyface here, or is he a heel?
No, he's a heel. He's an annoying heel.
Facing each other, or is Dean Malenko a face?
Dean's more of a tweener. He just goes where whatever fits at the moment.
I couldn't tell if Disco was like legitimately trying to get everybody to be excited about his dancing, or if he was being tongue in cheek about it. But okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, he thinks very highly of himself.
Okay.
What did he call his finisher? Because he did the stunner, right?
Chartbuster.
Chartbuster.
Oh.
Don't ask me how I remember that, but I do.
Travis, believe me, when it comes to garbage wrestling, you are a wealth of knowledge.
I love it though. Like,
wait, Stone Cold stole the stunner? Is that what I'm hearing from Disco Inferno?
that's what it sounds like to me.
Man,
you know what? I like that narrative. We'll go with it.
Yeah. Because I mean, Disco Inferno showed up before Stone Cold Steve Austin. It looks like. So when was that King of the Ring? Because it was in '96, right?
Well, I mean, he was stunning Steve Austin doing the stunner.
He didn't do the stunner though.
he did the
You
stun
sure?
gun.
Yeah, he didn't do the stunner. He was still at this point, I believe, he was still using the $1 Million Dream.
Okay.
I think we're very close. Isn't King of the Ring usually June?
Maybe, I don't know.
So maybe Stone Cold beat him out by a few weeks, but
Maybe, but was he doing the stunner at that point?
that's a very good question.
Yeah,
I'm not really sure.
we're not here to talk about the WWF anyway, so you know.
Well, we
Who
already talked about
cares?
Barbarian losing to Eddie Guerrero. Then we got a little interview with Eddie after the match. We got Four Horsemen defeating the Rock and Roll Express because, again, this is another tag team that just is everywhere in the early 90s and even now.
Yes, like, when he's got
Still going.
Go away.
Mongo hits Gibson with the briefcase. Joe Gomez, Kevin Green, and Macho Man come down to make the save. Because, again, Joe Gomez is apparently a thing.
Yeah. You gotta have the Joe Gomez.
Fuck Joe Gomez, man.
We get a Flair interview. Deborah's really, really, really happy to be there. Like, really happy to be there. And I'm not sure if it's Flair or that she's on TV or all of the money that Mongo got, but she is extremely excited to be at Flair's side.
Combination of the money and TV.
That dickhead Mongo McMichaels yells at Mean Gene. How dare he?
Yeah.
Damn it, Steven.
I would like to point out too, because we didn't really talk about it, because Eric Bischoff hasn't been there because of the attack, but this is like the beginnings of what will become, what in my opinion, the best 3-man booth in wrestling history. That being Tony Schiavone, Bobby the Brain Heenan, and Iron Mike Tenay.
Okay.
Like, the three of them together was just like the only time I've seen like an actual 3-man team that I actually like really liked. There's others that I've been like, okay, they're okay. But that dynamic, those three was like, that was good. Because like you had the play-by-play from Tony Schiavone, who, back when they were still actually calling the action in the ring. Then you had Bobby the Brain Heenan doing Bobby the Brain Heenan shit, which Bobby on the mic is great. But then you had Mike Tenay that as an actual analyst, and like he was like a wealth of history and all that kind of stuff too. It was so good. Like the three of them together was fantastic. We're almost there.
Yeah, he fit that third mic perfectly. The only guy that I can compare it to is in New Japan, a guy named Chris Charlton. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but he's kind of the same kind of deal where he has like the very in-depth like history, like how everything ties together kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I think if you're going to have a third person, it has to be someone like that. That's not like too overbearing on the other two, but it's kind of here on the side for context. When
exactly.
We've also got what I'm here for, my favorite wrestler from WCW, DDP, defeating Alex Wright.
I thought you were going to say El Dandy.
No. El Dandy is an amazing wrestler, but he is not my favorite. Oh, there we go.
Meeting is being recorded.
That fixes that.
I don't know how many times we're going to have to do this. We're going to move this here. You do not get to get in the middle spot. I do.
That's fine. This tape fist match, though, like Travis and I talked about this. Duggan's not even taping his fist. He's getting a ball of tape. He's just waving it around like a fucking idiot to punch somebody. Apparently, taping your fist makes your fist harder to punch people, which is a disqualification. Like, I know you've talked about this, right, Kyle?
Maybe. I'm gonna tell you this. Jim Duggan is my Kevin Sullivan for you. Like Jim Duggan, I can't.
You hate Jim Duggan? I
can't
love Jim
stand
Duggan so much.
Jim Duggan. If I'm just hanging out, look, if we're at a barbecue or a bar, Jim Duggan's the guy I want there. But if I'm watching wrestling, those stupid assholes stomping around in his gym shorts with his stupid wood, like, oh my god, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
No, after watching this week of wrestling, or these 3 weeks of wrestling in this pay-per-view, I'm with you. Fuck Jim Duggan as a wrestler, like 100%. We had a Kevin Green interview. He's like, hey, so I got a day job and I got to go do that. But when the season's over, I'm going to be back and I'm going Mongo hunting. It is Mongo hunting season and I'm coming for that motherfucker.
Not only that, but he also said he was going to have a tag match with him and Macho Man against Mongo and I guess Flair. I don't know. But my thing was like they didn't anticipate the fact that won't be possible because Macho Man's going to join the NWO and that won't be a thing anymore.
Yeah. Speaking of Macho Man, he defeats IRS.
VK Wall Street.
No, that is not IRS.
I do it because Travis does not like when I refer to the WCW guys by their WWF names, and I was waiting for him to correct me, and then you got in there, so
he did it first. I was going to stop and give you a second to correct yourself before I.
No, that wasn't going to happen. No, I really enjoyed.
I know that was all part of it. Was me,
So Macho Man defeats IRS. Sting and Luger versus Harlem Heat versus the Steiners. We got the Outsiders hitting the ring. We got cops in the ring. Apparently, that doesn't cause a DQ because Harlem Heat ends up getting a roll-up win and becoming tag team champions.
Got to see it through, my boy.
Everything else that is going on and all of this bullshit.
They're on the outside with bats and shit, and it's just like, yeah, nobody tries to fuck with them, though.
They don't get any shine for like celebrating their championship win. They're just like off camera. We're focusing on the cops are like putting their hands on their guns. Like they're going to shoot the Outsiders for showing up. Which is a little weird.
Well, if they came in swinging the bats, probably, yeah.
Like,
they had bats.
Why do we have 50 armed policemen here to handle 2 guys?
Because
bats?
It's Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. They're some bad motherfuckers. You need everybody.
You get 4 guys, each one attacks. It's not a karate
enough.
Movie where you get one guy at a time.
Oh, it's not enough.
So
it's Kevin Nash and Scott Hall.
I know that over on the other channel that we're not talking about, Shawn Michaels is known as the sexy boy, but it is my personal opinion that in the history of professional wrestling, Kevin Nash is the prettiest man to ever exist.
You might be right.
Hands down.
You might be right. 90s Kevin Nash might be the prettiest man in all of wrestling ever. You might be right.
I've met the guy in person, even at his age now, very pretty man, but back then with the hair and everything, like they didn't call him big sexy for no reason.
Yeah.
Even now, I think today he's even more jacked than he was at this point.
But he's shorter.
Yeah. Aren't we all?
That's what knee surgeries and shit will do to you.
Yeah. Gravity's a bitch, man.
And that's how we go off air. Harlem Heat, your new tag team champions with no celebration,
but who cares?
No fanfare, nothing. Because
like
Outsiders.
1 square foot of the ring is not filled with people, and they just do a little roll up in the ropes. But apparently, that's fine.
Yeah.
On
WCW, I say it here all the time.
On the bright side, though, the 2 black guys stole something, and the cops didn't go after them. They got away free.
This is true.
Nobody got shot. Everything's good. July 1st, DDP interrupts Tony and Larry because somebody stole his fucking ring. This man won a diamond ring that apparently we're going to defend as if it was a championship for whatever goddamn reason. And it is now missing. It was stolen and he doesn't know where it is. And he wants to find it. We're not having a match until he finds his shit. Harlem Heat defeat the Steiners with the return of Colonel Parker, who apparently is back because Sherry is gone now. So they got the plantation owner to manage Harlem Heat, which was a great idea.
Well, originally he was supposed to be their manager when they first came in.
That's a terrible fucking booking idea, and I don't know who came up with that, but
Stevie Ray did.
So I guess I get it.
Stevie Ray came up with that idea. He said it. It was his idea for them to come in. Colonel Park was supposed to be their manager. They were gonna call themselves the Chain Gang. They like escaped and all that kind of shit. Oh yeah, 100% Stevie Ray's idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess when you go into a business and you know how the people in that business
exactly. He knew what he needed to do to get himself in there. That's what he was doing.
Scarily sad.
Mm-hmm.
We got the 4 Horsemen and 3 Gold Diggers. They cut a promo. More nonsense babble bullshit.
Can I just say how out of place Elizabeth is in this whole thing? Like she
looks so uncomfortable.
She's so friendly. Like
she's just so nice and sweet, and the rest of them are just so evil. It's like,
so you've got that dichotomy. Like, woman fits.
Yes, perfectly.
She is evil. She is there. She has all of the personality of a 4-horse person. If we're gonna not go gender specific, like she's there. Miss Elizabeth is just this poor, sweet, like uncomfortable woman in the back who doesn't know how to act. And then Deborah is just smiling like a psycho, so happy to be there, but doesn't know what to do with herself. Until Austin knocks some sense into her years later, she's just not going to know how to handle her shit.
Stumps a mud hole at her, you said?
Oh my God. Oh, did I say that? You did. I mean, she was good when she was with Jarrett.
Yeah, no, she was. I mean, she was only good because she was there for
the puppies,
scream puppies, and wear business suits with a lot, like
with a lot of leg,
it was not the leg I was looking at, Travis.
Yeah, there was a lot. Well, there's the thighs, and yeah.
My eyes were all above the waist, below the eyes.
Oh, see, I've always been a leg man, so that was a lot for me too. He was just like, the thighs. But anyway, go ahead.
I'm more thighs, Kyle. How you doing? You're more of a personality.
Size? What's up? I'll just do the rest of the podcast like this.
We got Disco defeating Kurosawa. Some guy comes out as a distraction. I don't know who the fuck this guy is, but like Disco's music plays and he just comes out. He's dancing on stage and shit.
Yeah, who is this random motherfucker?
I think it's the guy that's in Diamond Mine.
Like, like he's dressed in like this Elvis thing. They was trying to say it was a disco. So I'm like, no, that's definitely an Elvis costume. But
not just that. So Kurosawa was confused because he's this badass Japanese wrestler who's out there to beat somebody's ass, and some fat dude dressed like Elvis is doing disco. And then while his back is turned, somebody in production that is apparently on Disco's payroll lowers a disco ball very, very slowly into the ring. And then Disco so very gently just taps him on the back and lays this badass fucking Japanese wrestler out with the fucking disco ball to the back.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
That was my favorite part of all of what we watched here was that spot. The disco ball just ascending from the heavens and just.
Oh man, I'm telling you, when you just embrace the fact that it's going to be bad and you're gonna have fun with it, you love bad wrestling too.
We got Riggs losing to DDP. I cannot wait till he joins Ravens flock and gets out of this American males bullshit and they take out his eye.
Yeah, he doesn't lose his eye for another like 2 years.
See, like I know shit. Like I used to watch some of this shit, but it wasn't until like Thunder was around and I watched a lot of late 2000s or early 2000s WCW, but like late WCW.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. There's an awful backstage I didn't do it promo from Duggan where he's like, I don't know where the ring is. I didn't do it. I didn't take it. And then later on, he comes back out. I'm just going to jump to that. And he's like, I went to go take a shit and I looked down and then there was the ring and I got the ring and the ring is a girly ring. Why would I want the ring? Oh,
I was so confused at what this whole thing was.
Dude,
he said tough guys in there somewhere too, because that's part of his thing.
Well, I'm a tough guy and I wouldn't wear a girly ring like this. It's very feminine.
Tough guys.
I'm pretty sure he's wrapping his hands in toilet paper. That's what that shit is. Bischoff is. Oh no, I'm sorry. We got Savage defeating Greg the Hammer Valentine in a random.
Why is Greg
Monday
Valentine
night match
here?
No idea.
Nobody asked for him.
He's there for Macho Man to whoop his ass because we got to see the Macho Man work.
So what you've gotten is a random episode of Monday Nitro where Macho Man just wrestles Ric Flair for shits and giggles. And then another random episode of Monday Nitro where Macho Man wrestles Greg the Hammer Valentine for shits and giggles.
Dude, it's like with the same heat that you would see like Humberto Carrillo face fucking Ivar. Just we'll just watch this for a little bit. All right, next segment. They're talking. They're not even talking about the match. They're talking about the pay-per-view and stuff. It's bizarre, man. It's bizarre.
They do a lot of that in WCW where like a match is going on and they should be commentating, but instead they're just talking about like what happened in the last pay-per-view or what's happening on the upcoming pay-per-view. Or I really hope Eric Bischoff is okay. We haven't heard from Eric Bischoff. Has anyone seen Eric Bischoff? Does anyone know where Eric Bischoff is? He's back on commentary. He wants the Outsiders kicked out, but they've got tickets to the show. So apparently, because they bought tickets, you can't do anything. Now, I have it on very good authority that regardless of whether or not you buy tickets, if they want you out of the show, they can have you removed. It does not matter. But when you're the Outsiders.
Have you been removed from a show, Matt?
I've been threatened to be removed from a show.
Why's that? What'd you do?
I was threatened not to be removed from the show, but I was threatened for our Smack and Raw sign up Money in the Bank. And then I had gotten a little rowdy at one of the shows, went outside to smoke a cigarette, and they almost didn't let me back in. So
see, he had gotten a little rowdy, and Matt doesn't even drink. Why were you so rowdy, Matt?
Well, I was drinking at that point.
Oh.
That was earlier. Huh?
K Quick, was he there?
No, K Quick was not there.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately.
I'll say that would make sense,
Oh, that
would have been my excuse. I'm like, how could I not be rowdy? K Quick is telling me to get rowdy. Like, you can't come out here and tell me to do something, and then when I do it, get me in trouble.
I mean,
for it.
you got to move some things,
That's what I hear. That's what I hear.
The Giant defeats John Tenta in a match. I thought this was going to be a tag match, but apparently it wasn't.
I think they did say it was going to be, but then it wasn't.
Yeah, they had that whole promo where Sullivan and Giant were supposed to tag team.
Yeah.
Against the Four Horsemen, and then if they won, the winner of the Four Horsemen was supposed to get the tag match, and instead they just did. So where did this John Tenta match come from? Because wasn't he feuding with Boss Man? Like, why did he get a title shot?
Hell, I don't know.
Man. It's weird though that Earthquake versus Big Show doesn't sound like a match that happened. It seems like it's completely different times, but here it is.
Yeah. The Dungeon of Doom cuts a terrible fucking promo on the Four Horsemen. I fucking hate Kevin Sullivan if I haven't said that yet. The Outsiders do get kicked out of the building. They apparently incited a riot. The entire locker room emptied. They got escorted out.
Got in their car talking shit about how nice their car is and like how you can't afford it because Kevin Nash is just that dude. That's what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kevin Nash burying police was one of my favorite parts of this episode too. Just I'm gonna go buy you a donut. Cops like donuts, so
yeah.
Pretty good piece of comedy.
And they were using, I believe, actual cops, so he was able to just say that to actual cops. So
Yeah.
I also forgot that when DDP came, or when Duggan found the ring, DDP came to get it, and Duggan dropped it on the floor. So when DDP went to bend down to pick up the ring, Duggan was able to reach into his musty ass fucking pants, pull the tape out, wrap that shit around his fist, and then the smell grazing by DDP's nose was enough to knock him out, because I will not
That's all it takes.
accept the fact that this shitty Jim Duggan knocked out my favorite WCW wrestler with a punch.
Yeah.
So it was the smell from his musty ass, crusty
Jim
ass.
Duggan is the originator of the power of the punch.
Yeah, except it's all the smell and the power.
Doesn't matter where the power comes from, Matt.
Another fucking
wise man once said, it doesn't matter how you find the pot of gold as long as you catch the leprechaun.
Oh, here we go. 6-man tag team match. It is Benoit and Arn versus Joe Gomez and the Renegade. Because fucking Joe Gomez, and then the Rock and Roll Express. This is where it happens. So Mongo throws the briefcase and scares the Renegade, so he falls off the top rope. And
the Renegade looked like he was on one leg the whole time too, so it was just.
So he did hit Macho Man with the briefcase 2 weeks ago. This is where he missed the Renegade, and then the Renegade just took a forward dive, donut roll, if you will, almost paralyzes himself from the sheer wind that the briefcase brought along by his thigh, and then loses it. Never touched by the case. Like I said, then we get a Four Horsemen interview after the match, and we go off air with, as Travis said, the Outsiders getting into their car talking shit to the cops.
By the way, there was a Bobby Heenan line in here that I forgot to point out. This is a while ago. This is during that Malenko and Mysterio match.
I was gonna say you're supposed to be taking notes on shit Bobby Heenan says.
I know, and I have been, and I just forgot to say it when we got there. But yeah, he was talking about, this wasn't even like an offensive line or anything. It was just, okay. He was talking about how fast Rey Mysterio was. He said, I bet when he goes to bed at night, he turns the lights off and he's in bed before the room is dark. It's just like, I'm just like,
that's great. Bobby Heenan is
what a line.
Man.
What a line. Like Bobby fucking Heenan.
He's the
All
best.
right. Let's get into the Bash at the Beach 1996. I'm just going to preface that the entire night, the commentating team bitched and complained about how Nash and Hall have not told them who the third man is, have not revealed it. We've revealed our side. We told you our three guys. You need to tell us. And like, that's a thread, an annoying fucking thread throughout the entire show of them crying about not knowing who the third man is. But we kick it off as WCW loves to do. Cruiserweight match. It is Psychosis versus Rey Mysterio. Rey gets the win here. Dude, Psychosis looked huge next to Rey Mysterio in this match. Like, I do not remember Psychosis being that big.
Well, you got to think Rey Mysterio at this point is a lot smaller than Rey Mysterio now, too. So it's kind of a give and take kind of thing because Rey Mysterio is tiny. So
Psychosis also had shoulder pads on, which,
he looked like a knockoff Power Ranger villain.
Yes, I think he had a puffy suit.
He did.
So that probably
with
helped.
Like the fucking abs and everything drawn on cartoon style. Yeah.
Rita Repulsa was gonna make him grow, but she didn't get to.
My favorite thing is at the end of this match, all of the commentary guys are confused as to how Rey Mysterio reversed a power bomb into a Frankensteiner, and they don't know what to call it. So then we cut to Conan.
What's happening here?
They cut to Conan and they ask like the Mexican guy, "Hey, what do you call that? What was that thing that they did there?" And Conan breaks it down for them. Like it was a reverse power bomb. He reversed a power bomb into a Frankenstein. Like it wasn't
my thing too. What was I? Speaking of Frankensteiners, there was one. Was it during this? Did the Steiners face Harlem Heat in the pay-per-view?
No.
There was one match I was watching where Scott did a Frankensteiner on Booker T, and I'm 99% sure he concussed him.
Yeah, that was the last episode. That was the one with Colonel Parker.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like, he 100% has a concussion. Like, that's like, you see how he landed on his head like that. And then, like, out in the ring, you see he is out of it. Like, he concussed him.
Oh, yeah. After that, we interview Conan about his U.S. title match with Ric Flair. He said he doesn't give a fuck. He's going to take out the managers. He'll take out the women. He'll take out the football players. Anyone that tries to get in there and interfere, he's taking them out. Doesn't care what your gender is, what your job is, nothing. You get in my way, you're getting hit. And I respect the shit out of Conan for that. Big Bubba
Play
Boss
stupid
Man,
games, win stupid prizes.
Big Bubba Boss Man Ray Traylor loses to Golga, the Earthquake Shark John Tenta, in a silver dollar and a sock on a pole match.
It's good stuff, right?
Yeah.
Why is the pole so fucking tall?
Because you got to have Jimmy Hart climb up there. Because you got to have Jimmy Hart everywhere for some reason. It's just there's like I don't understand why there was so much Jimmy Hart these past few weeks. Like there's so much.
2 words: Hulk Hogan. If you are a friend of Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan is on a show, involved in a show, working for a company, you will get on TV as much as you want because Hulk Hogan. They did a fucking what the fuck? They did a one of those WWE Greatest Treasures things, and both the Booty Man, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, and Jimmy Hart at Hogan's Beach Shop got on the show because fucking Hulk Hogan.
Sounds about right.
I mean, if I was friends with Hulk Hogan, I'd want him to get me on the show all the time too. So, I mean, I'm not mad about it, but you know, there was just, but you don't need so much Jimmy Hart though. That's just like, I'm not mad at Jimmy Hart being on the show. It's just that I saw him so much.
I mean, I'll give props to Jimmy Hart though, because this pole literally is at least 20 feet high, and Jimmy Hart is just scaling this thing. He is up so high to get this bag of dicks or whatever's in this bag.
Sock of silver dollars.
Or yeah, whatever.
Sock of dildos.
Right. Yeah, might as well have been.
Yeah, same shit.
Can we talk about Can we talk about John Tenta's mustache?
Yes, let's talk about.
Let's talk about John Tenta's mustache. What do you want to say about the mustache?
I hated his mustache.
I mean, I get it. It's a stupid mustache.
Is that not a mustache you'd want to ride?
No, it's not.
No.
I'd be distracted by stupid ass hair.
I like how you had to think about it though. You know, I
had to think about what do I look at for?
What do you look for in a mustache you want to ride? Yeah, I get it.
Like how big is his nose? There's a lot
exactly.
of things that factor.
I'm happy that you didn't make a rash decision.
You gotta take all the variables into account.
We got an interview with Team WCW. Macho Man doesn't really give a fuck about what's going on. Sting talks about how the unknown gives him a really dry mouth. And after he said that, I lost complete focus on whatever the fuck they were talking about. All I know is Macho Man said Macho Man shit. And then Sting's like, I got a really dry mouth from the unknown. My mouth is really dry. And I lost my shit. And the rest of the interview went right out the door.
It fucking Sting.
Oh, man.
He needed the Shockmaster to bust out behind him. That's
I was gonna say,
promo he was cutting.
I love Sting, but I can't wait till he stops talking and just goes sit in rafters.
Like my favorite Sting is the Sting that doesn't talk. So
this is like in between Surfer Sting and Crow Sting. It's just an asshole with face paint, basically.
We got DDP defeating Duggan in the what are the Lord of the Ring match. So
not King of the Ring.
No, not King of the Ring. It's Lord of the Ring, and it's an actual ring. It's not a wrestling ring.
Yeah.
So the winner gets the Precious. There's so much fucking tape in this match too, like fucking Duggan, man, and then after it was all over, they released this pay-per-view on a videotape.
Man,
wasn't Duggan the babyface here?
I think so.
Yeah.
He is the most Hulk Hogan babyface ever, because the only other babyface I know that loses a match and then gets really mad and fucks over his opponent, like Hulk Hogan did in the Royal Rumble when he cried that he got eliminated.
And then who did he pull out? He pulled out Sid, right?
Yeah, Psycho Sid, and cost Psycho Sid the match. So he tapes his fist up and punches DDP in the face after he takes the loss. Big babyface move.
As far as I understand, the premise of tape and why it's significant is because you can punch harder, like more with it, not
or solid fist.
Right? Yeah, you can like take
without hurting your knuckles and stuff.
Right, but it doesn't add power by putting tape on your fist. So it's like, what was the significance of his at the end? It
was for Flair, man, so everybody could watch it happen. Not Ric Flair, but like for the Flair, everybody sees it happen.
Duggan sucks in 1996.
My ass, dude. He first of all, I don't know. I guess it's because he got crotched with the ropes, right? This fucking guy. Can I mute him? No. I guess he got like low blowed for the finish in a way, but not really. So maybe that was
a great move, tough guy.
And he's not he gets the diamond cutter and he doesn't sell it at all. He just gets right back up like he just fuck Jim Duggan.
Here's where the star of the show, Mean Gene, starts to shine. We got an interview where Gene is just talking mad shit about Jimmy Hart, and it is fantastic. Meanwhile, Big Show is trying to jerk off Kevin Sullivan for whatever reason, but Gene just making fun of Jimmy Hart, his existence, not wanting him around, not liking him. Fucking fantastic. Then we get an Arn and Benoit interview, because this whole show was like gimmick matches and interviews. Like that was the basis of the show. Arn and Benoit interview.
There was a part where in this interview where Benoit said that he was going to leave Kevin Sullivan for dead.
Yes.
Which, felt weird listening to.
Well, also he did his whole part of the promo in like spoken word, which was really weird.
Silence, but violent.
Yeah.
Yeah. The trees, the rain down on me.
Well, we know, Benoit was never known for being very the most entertaining speaker in the world. So he was trying some things out to try to, make his promos interesting.
Are you saying that communication wasn't Chris Benoit's strong point?
Yeah. He's the type that resorted to violence always.
Let the dogs out.
Yeah.
Yep.
You did not just say, oh my God. Anyway, moving on. Gene cuts down. Oh no, we did that. You got me all fucked up. Public Enemy, your boys, versus the Nasty Boys, because apparently Public Enemy and the Nasty Boys, even though they've not interacted for 3 weeks on Nitro, it's still a feud that's going on.
Yeah,
Hey,
they
you're
still
all
hate each
fat.
other.
Let's wrestle.
And it's a dog collar match. where
Everybody's on dog collars.
each member is attached to their opponent with a dog collar.
I think
Tornado
all four-
tag.
I can't tell any of them apart. I know one's Jerry Sags and one's Brian Knobs and who I don't
Johnny
remember.
Grunge
It doesn't matter.
Rocco Rock.
It
and Rocco
doesn't
Rock.
matter.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
but
say
I don't know
this,
which is which.
I would have preferred this match if all four of them were chained in the
Together,
same
like
chain.
in like by one big chain, like
Yeah,
connected
yeah.
in the middle.
So nobody could do anything. So it's just like tangling each other.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
Public Enemy loses the match, and then as the heels, because I think they're the heels.
There are no heels in this match. Everybody's a heel.
Sure.
It's just four dudes beating the fuck out of each other.
They beat each other up, and then the commentary gives us the sad, somber note that this isn't over. This is still going on, and you can hear the pain in Tony Schiavone's voice as he says it. Nothing got solved here. This isn't over.
You didn't like all the rubber sharks and surfboards being used in this match.
Somebody at some point said after the surfboard, that's nothing.
Well, no, Dusty Rhodes had a great line in this match because there's like a lifeguard stand because this whole match takes place like in the stage with all like the props and stuff, and somebody does like a flip off the lifeguard stand, and Dusty Rhodes is like, "Oh, he must have heard somebody was drowning."
The fact that any one of those guys could do a flip is impressive.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
well, the thing is, Public Enemy is that was one of their things. They would do the flip over the top rope and put somebody through a table. Like that was one of their things.
Fuck. We got Disco losing to Dean Malenko for the Cruiserweight title. Let me tell you something. After watching Disco hit Kurosawa in the back with a disco ball and come out and celebrate during Dean Malenko's match and call him boring, there was nobody on this pay-per-view other than Diamond Dallas Page that I wanted to win a match more than I wanted Disco to win right here. I was very sad.
Even though he had, shake your booty on the back of his pants.
Oh no, his pants are the best thing. You got Shake Your Booty. I think one was Monday Night Fever. He's always got a nice little message right there on his
right on the booty,
tight, taut buns.
right on those disco booties.
He looked like he stopped at a Walgreens on the way and got those like cloth letters and he just like
And ironed them on?
Oh, absolutely. Joe Gomez, who gets a match at a pay-per-view because everyone knows Joe Gomez, loses to Mongo. And I don't know if they did it throughout the rest of the show, but for some reason it was really noticeable here. They have a camera, and the camera has crab claws.
I didn't know.
And like they're moving the camera around, and there are little crab claws attached to the front of the camera, as
I
if a
didn't see
crab is shooting the video.
That's hilarious. I didn't even notice that.
It
That's
was
wonderful.
fucking terrible.
I want to go back and watch it again just for that.
The other fucking terrible thing is the fact that I'm from Chicago. Obviously, the 85 Bears are the greatest thing
All Bears.
Yeah,
to
man.
Chicago football fans. So I love Mongo, but I don't give a fuck if you're an 85 Bear. I don't give a fuck if you're PJ Polacco, who went on the hardest part of the ring, or the apron bump with the hardest part of the ring, and did a ECW recap show, or no, it was WWF recap show for early 2001. Nobody does the fucking tombstone but the Undertaker. Not the Young Cucks, not Mongo McMichaels, not PJ Polacco.
You didn't know Mongo did the tombstone.
No, I didn't know Mongo did the tombstone, and I
no.
was pissed.
Oh,
If there's
that
anything
makes
that
me
shouldn't
so
be the
happy.
tombstone.
I thought you knew. So it's just like,
No,
I'm even more happy that I'm making him watch this stuff now. Like,
I was hurt to my soul seeing
I
this
know.
man disgrace the
know.
tombstone.
I wish I could have been sitting next to you when you saw this happen. Oh my God. We should have done
solid tombstone.
We should have done a live watch along for this, just for that. He would think it's because I wanted to make him watch the NWO stuff. Oh no, It would have been just fucking see him when he sees Mongo do the tombstone for the first time.
I have not seen
my
Mongo
God.
execute a single move solidly, let alone the tombstone.
That's all he. Yeah, that's all he needs.
I mean,
Man can't even swing a fucking briefcase properly. And you're out here talking about solid tombstones.
Hey, he didn't paralyze him.
I mean, yeah. He didn't break his neck.
Also, despite my my slight botch there, definitely go check out Just Incredible, aka PJ Polacco, on the Apron Bump podcast with Kyle, reviewing 2001 WWF, which he was so sadly having to be a part of at the time.
We covered Survivor Series 2001, and he didn't even remember he was on the card. So
yeah,
tells you something.
Also did a tombstone.
Blocked it out.
Fucking doing it.
I would too.
Then we got Ric Flair interview. He confused Conan with Malenko during it when he's talking about who he's wrestling. But again, Flair just says words, and it doesn't matter.
There was no build to this match, was there?
Not really.
No,
I saw him.
Just
like
it was
I
on
mean,
it was probably on Saturday Night Fever. That's where most of the U.S. title stuff happens.
And it's just like, oh, well, we got to do something with Rick. Like, oh, let's put the U.S. title on him. We're not doing anything else with the U.S. title. Let's just do that because, you know.
But this is where we just lose focus of Ric Flair talking, and we focus in on Mean Gene and Woman flirting. Woman is all
so
Mean
great.
Gene.
Oh,
Gene doesn't know what to do. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but Gene kept like putting his arm around Woman's waist, almost grabbing her ass, and then like
stopping himself. Yes, it was
and then
so great.
Back. I'm like, you dirty little fucker, Gene.
I mean, is he the dirty fucker if she's the one all over him first, though? Like, he's just responding, you know? Like, he's reading her nonverbal cues. That's what they want you to do. So, you know, read the nonverbal cues.
I will not disgrace the good name of Nancy Benoit on this podcast, but I have
I'm not disgracing it either. I am very pro this at all, you know.
I'm not saying you are. All I'm saying is I will not do it, but I have a lot of questions about her and Mean Gene's relationship in 1996 in between Benoit and Kevin Sullivan.
Yeah, she wasn't married to Benoit yet. She was leaving Kevin Sullivan. She can do what she wants.
Do you think she got his mean peen?
Oh, she got that mean peen.
Yeah.
Like, I know we have to name this episode
Bash Beach 96, but you really
like, if there's a way you could put Mean Peen in the title, you release it.
I may do it with the description or something. But yeah, we'll incorporate Mean Peen in there somewhere because
I may refer to him as Mean Peen going forward. We also have Sullivan and the Giant defeating the Four Horsemen. Benoit beats the shit
Kyle,
out of
if you never come on another show for us, you know you've contributed.
Oh, he'll be back.
Good.
He can't quit me.
Now,
he tried.
Then I'm out.
Benoit beats the shit out of Sullivan.
There's no better. You're not getting any better than that.
Well, hold on, Travis. I don't know if you listened to it, but the very first episode that I did with Kyle on his show, where we covered 2001 WWF SummerSlam, we actually ranked every member of that match by penis size, which we will also be doing for the main event of this show tonight.
Okay.
And I can tell you, I already know who's got the smallest dick in that main event.
Do you know? Know?
I know. Guaranteed. Yes.
I mean, he's also the only one whose dick we've actually seen. So
it looks like a spray tan banana. Anyway.
Kevin Nash probably 6 inches. So, go ahead.
This is where things get cringy because we got Benoit beating the shit out of Sullivan on the beach, brings him back into the ring, and then we have Woman yelling for Chris to stop beating a man to death. She says things like, please stop, you're hurting him. Don't, you're gonna kill him. And again,
yeah, uncomfortable.
Yeah.
The Giant, thank God, comes down and returns to save Sullivan. I never thought I'd say that ever on a podcast, but I needed that to stop.
That stop. Yeah.
That had to stop.
Very uncomfortable.
Then Giant throws Sullivan over his shoulder like the giant child that he is and carries him to the back.
Loved it.
Main event time. Michael Buffer reads us a fairy tale for some reason at the beginning of this match.
A fairy tale, really?
Yeah, he's talking about the setup to the match, and like it's not just like introducing from blah, blah, like he's got a whole fucking setup.
Yeah, he got to
about,
tell
like,
you a story.
Yeah, it was
you
ridiculous.
got to tell the legend, you know?
I can't
It
stand
was fairy
Michael
tale.
Buffer.
You hate Michael Buffer? Do you hate Bruce too?
No, I like Bruce.
Why do you hate Michael Buffer?
For the reason for this main event, we're going down a journey that'll live and then people come out and he's like, oh, the man in red trim, and like we see it, Michael. We see him coming out.
But let's get ready to rumble.
That's his one good thing. If he should just say that.
No, that gives him free reign to do whatever the fuck he wants.
I think there's a threshold where it's like, okay, I think you've
there is no threshold. He could do the whole thing butt naked if he wants, because he does Let's Get Ready to Rumble.
And Kyle,
and stroke his dick while he does it.
You didn't mean peen, so now you also have carte blanche to do whatever the fuck you want going forward.
That's how it works.
That's just how that works. We got the Outsiders versus Team WCW. No third man. It's a 3-on-2 match. The Outsiders basically say, we don't fucking need a third guy. We can take these bitches because we're from the WWF, but we can't say we're from the WWF. They made us say we weren't from the WWF because they sued us, but still we're better than you guys. So suck a dick. Luger gets taken out by Sting in the weakest moment in professional wrestling. Sting does a stinger splash into the corner and elbows Luger, who then falls off the apron onto the ground and needs to be put on a stretcher and carted out of the ring because he is the world's biggest bitch.
Well, what the story they were telling was that he got like crushed between like the steel part of the turnbuckle and the post and shit.
Did.
I'm telling you what the people said, all right? Just because they didn't sell it well doesn't mean that's not the story they were telling.
The people also said that Rey Mysterio did a move that they have never seen before against Psychosis, and it was just a fucking Frankensteiner out of a powerbomb. So they don't really know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah. No. This just confirms what I said earlier, that Luger cannot do anything right.
Was that Luger's fault, though? I mean, I agree that Luger can't do anything right. But was this actually Luger's fault?
I'm going to go ahead and blame Luger either way.
Okay.
So we get a tag team match going forward. Macho Man and Sting versus Scott Hall and the prettiest man in professional wrestling, Kevin Nash.
Prettiest man I ever saw.
All leads to the moment that everyone knows, everyone's seen.
Oh, really, Matt? Nothing.
Times. Prettiest man that you ever saw?
Yeah, I quoted Curly Bill, and you said you gave me nothing.
Dude, I was on a roll. I was talking.
Man, he wasn't even listening to you.
I really wasn't.
Really? Like, I quoted Tombstone, and he didn't even bite. You know how much that hurts? Like, you really weren't listening. Like, I really wasn't. Tombstone.
You just gave him a sheet of cookies, and he just tossed them on
exactly
the
his favorite cookies. Like, that's the thing. Like, it was Tombstone.
Baked them especially for him.
I don't know if I want to talk anymore for the rest of this show now.
You might not want to, because this is it. This is the part. Hulk Hogan arrives.
Who be bad now, boys? Who be bad now?
Bobby Heenan proves once again that he is the smartest man in 1996, because while Tony Schiavone's yelling, Hulk Hogan's here, he's here. Bobby's like, but
whose side is he on?
Yeah. Bobby doesn't trust Hulk Hogan for shit.
He never does.
And then whose side he's on? Of course he's here for WCW. Are you sure about that?
And then after he does it, he was like, what have I been saying all these years?
I'll have a question. Where has Hogan been? Because he wasn't on any of the Nitros.
Yeah, and I also was like, Matt, you got very little Hulk Hogan for this whole thing.
This was fantastic, because up till now, we've been watching at least 5 to 6 episodes of Nitro before a pay-per-view. I got 3 episodes of Nitro and 0 fucking Hulk Hogan. Like, if we got rid of Kevin Sullivan, I might have actually really enjoyed this shit.
Like, was he written off? Was there like a reason, or was he just...
He was probably shooting a movie.
Or something, he
he
goes off and does Hulk Hogan stuff. He had that kind of contract.
We just want to leave you off TV, so maybe people forget about you, so when you show up, it's a big surprise, and then it'll be an even bigger surprise when you do one of the 2 fucking moves that you know how to do in the leg drop.
It's true.
I can punch, I can big boot, I can leg drop.
Yeah, it was thing is I think like I remember listening to some Bischoff was talking about how his contract was different. Like he wasn't even being paid by WCW, he's being paid by Turner, like by Turner Broadcasting. Like they paid Hulk Hogan, so it was just like he had other stuff, like other contractual stuff, like movies and all that to do, TV movies on TNT, you know.
And yet, after creating what is considered by many to be the greatest faction in wrestling history, at the birth of it, the most pivotal moment of the 90s, pivotal moment for WCW where everything turns around, Hulk Hogan finds a way to fuck it up because he doesn't even know the goddamn name of his own faction.
Well, he said it the first time, but then he
said New World Order and then kept calling it the New World Organization, brother.
Yeah.
I wish they would have kept with the New World Organization. This really small font on all the shirts.
It's so small. You're right.
And we sign off with probably
maybe they would have shortened it to org, you know.
New World Org.
It was
New
a really
World
long
.org.
Yes.
It was a really long Hogan promo. We sign off with probably my favorite line I've ever heard sign off on any pay-per-view period, and that is, Hulk Hogan, you can go to hell. Tony Schiavone has been gold. He invented a little bit of the bubbly and signed us off with Hulk Hogan, you can go to hell, which were my sentiments exactly. But before we talk about how we felt about all this, real quick, Kyle, Macho Man, Sting, Lex Luger, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Hulk Hogan. Biggest to smallest, how you ranking these peens?
Oh, man. I feel like Sting has a heavy dangle for some reason.
Really? Okay.
Lex Luger is definitely at the bottom, I think.
I think so, too.
Randy Savage. I'm going to say from largest to smallest. I'm going to say Sting, Nash, Hall, Savage, Luger. Oh, Hogan's at the top, actually, because we've all seen it. So he's massive. So are you guys just gonna look at me quietly?
No. I'm looking at Matt. I'm waiting for Matt to say something because I know he doesn't want to say that. Because that's why I said it earlier. Like, well, we've seen his. So I mean,
all right.
I'm almost with you. I'm gonna go Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Macho Man, Sting, Luger, Hogan.
See, I got it. I got Hall above Nash here. It just seems like Hall's the kind of dude that's that's packing it, and he's packing more than you think he's packing. Like he seems like that kind of dude.
And then a dad dick, like flaccid, it's big.
And then right behind him, I got Nash and then Sting. Well, no, I got Macho Man ahead of Sting, and then
so do I.
And then I got Hogan, and then Luger. You know,
well, Luger's definitely suffering from the steroid use. I can guarantee.
Exactly.
Here's why I have Hulk Hogan at the bottom, because regardless of what you said and what Travis said about how we've seen it, we all know that there are two truths about Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan is never going to go on camera and allow himself to look bad, in his own opinion. And Hulk Hogan also has a lot of connections in movie and TV. So knowing that he was being filmed, I guarantee that what you saw was a prosthetic penis.
Was being filmed?
He did. What you saw was a prosthetic penis that he had created to make himself look far larger than he actually did.
That's a conspiracy theory. That's something. You need to get a scientist to look at it.
I fully believe that man has a baby cock, and that's why he needed to be at the top all of the time.
If you say so, sir.
Guys like Randy Savage.
Are they all circumcised? Do you think anybody's packing a hood?
I bet Randy's got a hood. He seems like he seemed like he never really
didn't have time for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. He seemed like he came out crazy and they just said, fuck it, we're not even gonna try. Like, I feel like he was that kind of baby.
Yeah.
I think Randy's got a hood.
If Randy's got a hood, Luger doesn't. I think that's why Elizabeth was so fascinated with Luger, was like, holy shit, this is what a circumcised penis looks like? This is fantastic. I don't even care if it's tiny.
Well, they all look the same erect, so.
Well, when you're circumcised, though, when you get erect, especially white people, like it's a lot pinker. The head is a lot pinker,
I haven't.
How many flaccid versus hard pink penises have you seen, Travis?
Enough to know that.
Okay. I'm surprised about your white penis knowledge. That's all.
Locker rooms, porns, between the two.
How many porns are you watching where there's a flaccid dick?
That's all he watches.
I mean, they have to get hard. They don't come out the box that way.
I mean,
for the most part, at least the ones I watched, they reach in their pants, they pull it out, and it's pretty much hard at that point. It's not a soft, floppy, saggy dick in their hand.
No, you gotta get the growth. You gotta get the whole build there, man. You're not watching quality porn.
I'm not there for the story. I'm there to get a job done.
That's not the narrative I show up for.
No.
You got to get the whole experience, man. You're not fully enjoying your porn.
I don't care if it's your stepmother, your stepsister, whoever's stuck underneath that bed or in that dog door. I'm just there to see what happens to her.
Dog door.
That's all I care about.
Stuck in the dog door.
Overall, we'll just go overall. What we watched, spit or swallow. Where you guys at?
Oh, I'm swallowing this. This is my favorite shit.
Yeah, I'll give it a swallow too.
It is one of the biggest moments in wrestling history, which is why it was so important for us to have you on here to help us cover it, because it's not just any random episode pay-per-view. It is the build to the start of arguably the greatest faction in wrestling history.
Not arguable anymore. We decided it's canon now.
No, we did a poll, and the poll they won. That doesn't mean we decided.
It wasn't a poll. It was a whole tournament, sir. They defeated several other factions in the process, including D-Generation X, that you like to say is the best. But they lost, so
they won at what was it, WrestleMania 31? Wasn't that the thing?
Oh yeah, because in WWF, Triple H and DX always goes over WCW.
Man, I'll tell you.
But that's the thing. Like, the NWO came out to help Sting, though, which is like, wait, what?
Yeah. Well, they didn't watch the product, so
yeah, clearly, because it's just like that's the exact opposite of what would have happened. Like, the NWO would have came out and jumped Sting. Like,
well, then it would have been 15-on-1, and then
yeah, that's what it should have been. Like, that would have been a better story.
Are you saying you wanted Scott Norton at WrestleMania 31?
I love Scott Norton. He's like a guilty pleasure of mine.
And if we get Scott Norton, do we get Vincent or Virgil? Because it's WWF.
Wait,
what is he wearing
in WCW?
He's wearing an NWO shirt.
Then he's Vincent.
Is Vincent going to allow Vincent to be Vincent?
Maybe. He's wearing the shirt. He's Vincent. He's Vincent to me. I'll call him Vincent.
What the fuck was because he's almost unrecognizable. Was it Priest? Is that what fucking
Damien?
No, not Damien Priest.
So I'm just like, what is he talking about?
The Disciple.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's what it was. The Disciple. Fucking
of Apocalypse.
Brutus the Barber Beefcake, yeah.
Was the Disciple in the NWO.
Yeah.
And completely almost unrecognizable as Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Well, yeah, you put the bandana and the sunglasses on, and you grow the beard, and you just stand there and don't talk. Nobody will ever know you're Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Which means that is the best gimmick he has ever had, because he didn't fucking talk.
Yeah. He did a one-handed stunner, though, and called it the Apocalypse.
Yeah, also crashed his parasail.
I don't know how we called it the Apocalypse, because we never heard him say that's what it was called, but that's how we still knew it was called the Apocalypse.
Probably did it on Thunder a few times.
That's almost... Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
He did it to DDP.
Is almost as disgraceful as Mongo McMichael's doing the fucking Tombstone.
You know what's even better about it? I don't know if you even heard me.
Yeah, I know I heard you. I'm just going to ignore that and move on. So, Kyle, thank you for coming on the show, Return to Wrestling, and covering all of this shit with us, because a lot of it was. Yes, we do appreciate it. But I know you're an expert in muddling through the shit to find the golden nuggets, so we appreciate that.
That's yes, I certainly am. I'm in a different time of WCW, but
you got a lot of shit to swim through.
Oh man,
enjoy.
I'm dived in head first.
I heard you,
buddy.
Did you not just watch a Vader versus Hulk Hogan strap match?
Yes, that'll be my episode that comes out next Wednesday. I did it with Katie.
Matt loves that match.
Where can they find that?
Well, let me tell you, Matthew. You can find my podcast, the Apron Bump Podcast, at apronbump.com, wherever you listen to podcasts, YouTube as well. Like I said, WCW Uncensored 1995 is my next episode, and that was probably the worst show I've ever seen in terms of wrestling. You had guys wrestling on a semi truck in hay. You had a boxer versus wrestler. It was, by the way, no Johnny B. Bad on this show we just covered. I was pretty appalled, but I guess he's in WWF at this point, maybe.
I don't think he's gotten there yet. I think he's still between jobs.
He was on the last pay-per-view, I wouldn't say, that we watched. I think he was on Great American Bash. If not, it was 2 pay-per-views ago, but he's not far away from where we're at.
But yeah, Bobby Heenan, though, on this show, apparently the only person that knows the rules of a strap match. So,
well, they change it, depending on who's in it. So,
and what they call it.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything else you want to plug?
No, yeah. Apron Bump Podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. Give me a kiss and suck your dog's dick.
Every Wednesday, new episode.
Every Wednesday. There you go. See,
and
you're back. You should be my manager.
At some point, I'll be back on to talk about Taz's package with you very soon.
Yes,
looking
he's no
forward
longer
to
the
that.
Tasmaniac, but he still has his package. So,
Travis, we got anything I got to plug coming out? Creation Conversation or anything like that?
Let's see. Well, if you're watching this on Patreon, we got EA Plays coming up, so there'll be a special creation conversation where we're talking EA video games, me and Kobe again. Trying to think anything else big happening, anything new, nothing yet. No.
Okay. And Super Flash Arrow still a thing?
Yeah, that's still every week. Talking Supergirl, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, Black Lightning, Batwoman, Stargirl, Superman and Lois, all them shits.
Which means you guys can follow me on Twitter at Matt Ritter. That is at MATTRIDDER. Also go follow Travis at Sir Cussalott. That is at SIR_CUSSALOTT on Twitter and Instagram. Twitter and Instagram is also where you guys can find The Creation World. That's THECREATIA World. Not going to tell you how to spell world. And we have an Instagram now for Smacking a Raw. It is at Smacking a Raw Pod on Twitter and Instagram. So please go check that out. As always, you guys can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Creation World, facebook.com/group/Smacking It Raw, and facebook.com/groups/Super Flash Hero of Tomorrow. And if Vince gets his shit done, hopefully we will have, when this officially comes out, a new logo for Return to Wrestling to set it somewhat apart from the Smacking It Raw podcast. Working on that now. So we'll see if you guys see it when it comes out. If not, oh well, we'll get one eventually.
Get over it.
Yeah. For Sir Cussalott, Travis Pointer, the hardest part of the ring, Mean Peen, Kyle, I am the Warden, Matt Ritter. We are Smacking It Raw. This has been Return to Wrestling, the monthly release of the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub.
Peace.
Fuck Jim Duggan.